Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I know if you stuck around with me for a while, you would know that I have something for books. I love reading. I loved reading since actually middle school, and I was always the girl who reads in school, in break time, in bus, wherever and whenever. So I thought I never shared this side of me with you, and I thought this is the perfect timing to share it. And I would start by telling you my top 10 favorite books of all time. This might change, and if it ever changes, I will make an updated top 10 or 5 books, but for so far, those are my favorites. Also note, those are in no particular order, even not in a general order. I will just pick one from my side and show it to you, and hopefully you get it. So my very first book is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. It's a slow read, so I started reading it slowly because the English here was quite tricky for me back in the days when I read it. But honestly, I have to tell you that this book is really intense. It's this type of love story that will really get you hooked with the characters, and my favorite character of all time is Mr. Darcy. And I will quote from the book. She must possesses a certain something in her air and manner of walking, the tone of her voice, her address and expressions, or the word will be but have deserved. So I really give this a rate, so go check it out, or check the movie if you're not a reader. My next book is To Tell Mockingbird by Harper Lee. This book was one of the early readings I had, and I read it in school. I took it in high school. But this book was really adorable. I learned a lot reading this book. The characters, it's timeless. It's going to give you lots of morals, lots of family insights, a lot of things. And it's one of the books that really shared a big space of my high school shaping and making me, I think, a better version of myself. And I'll quote from this book: "The Bible in the hand of one man is worse than a whiskey bottle in the hand of your father." What I meant was, if Atticus Finch drank until he was drunk, he wouldn't be as hard as some men are at their best, who are so busy worrying about the next world, they've never learned to live in this one. This was one of my favorite quotes. So give this a read. It's a timeless read. It's one of the best novels I've ever seen in my life, and actually it has good reviews on it, so check it out. So the next book is Girls of Riyadh, and if you ever wonder how are women in the Middle East, or what do they face in their relationships, this book is for you. This book is like the Sex and the City, but if the city was Riyadh. I quote here the Times magazine. And I have to quote this book. This quote is really interesting. I mean, like, I imagine myself welcoming him home in the evening once we're married, and of course he always comes home tired. I sit him down on the sofa and I sit on the floor in front of him. I imagine myself rubbing his feet under salted warm water and kissing them. Do you understand what this picture I have in my head does to me? It drives me mad. I never imagined I could think things like that about any man, no matter who he was. Do you see how this loss has rocked all my thinking and left me loving him in totally hopeless way? Interesting read. My next book, Paper Towns. And actually I read, this is like my second reading from the John Green books. The book I really liked is Paper Towns. And I will quote from this book: "The day passed as it always did, in slow motion, with 1,000 plaintive glances at the clock, but now it was even more unbearable because every minute I wasted in school was another minute in which I failed to find her." I really love this book. It's so inspiring on friendship, love. It gives you like a fresh perspective, and it's a very fresh summer read, so I really recommend that. The next book is quite a Muslim's book, so if you're not a Muslim but if you're open-minded enough to read a book like that, go for it. This book is called Reclaim Your Heart, and it's one of those books that if you're someone who's spiritual, meditative and such, you would fall in love directly with this book, and if you're a Muslim, this is the perfect book for you. And I will quote this book: This meant expecting people around me to be perfect, expecting my relationships to be perfect, expecting so much from those around me and from this life. Expectations, expectations, expectations. And if there is one recipe for unhappiness, it is that. Expectations. It's a quite religious book. If you believe in God to start with, read this. It's a nice refreshment for the soul kind of book. Next on the list is Divergent. I am someone who is a sucker for fiction. I loved Harry Potter. I grew with Harry Potter. I didn't add it in my favorite book list because it's a no-brainer. Everyone loved Harry Potter at a point in his life. Movies, books, especially if you're from my generation, this is the book for you. But going into fiction a little bit more, you definitely liked either Hunger Games or something like that. If you watch anime, you liked Attack on Titan, like I did. I'm a sucker for anime. If you want to know my favorite animes, comment down below and I would also let you know. But Divergent, I related with the girl so much. I felt the same hesitations she had, the way she didn't know who she is specifically and all that. I could relate to it. That's why I fell in love with this book. Okay, I cannot quote more than that from the book because it would be you will know what will happen and I don't want to do that to you, but definitely give Divergent a read if you are a fiction sucker like me. The next book is quite on the fun kind of side. The name of the book is funny to begin with. It's called When You Eat at the Refrigerator, Pull Up a Chair. I suffered from issues about weight loss and how I perceive my body and such. And this book really helped me shake my identity and understand more what and how to perceive my body, how to love it, how to accept myself as a fat person before actually going on diets. So definitely check that book out if you need. I would quote from the book. When I stopped dieting, I was terrified, since I had spent every single day for 17 years on either a diet or a binge. I was certain that given the permission to eat as much ice cream as I wanted, I would devour the entire gallon, but after the initial glee of releasing myself from diet jail, I discovered that it was the forbiddenness itself that made certain foods so attractive. That's enough. Give this book a read. It's a really nice, funny read that will give you a lot of insights about dieting and food. Next is an autobiographic kind of book, and it's the autobiography of Benazir Bhutto, which was a prime minister in Pakistan. If you're into politics and women empowerment, I think this book is the book for you. This lady is so amazing. She's very inspiring, and she wrote that book before her assassination, so definitely give this book a shot. Read it and check for yourself. My next book is one of those books that I say it aided my minimalism journey a lot. It aided my mindfulness and monotasking and slow living. It aided a lot of things in my lifestyle. If it did anything, it made me a better person. If you're not into spiritual books, again, meditation, all these things, I don't think this book is for you. But this book is a new earth awakening to your life's purpose. Eckhart Tolle is one of the few men that his writing captures my soul, and I don't know why that happens, but I could relate to every single thing he writes because this is what I'm actually going through at the moment, and at the time I was reading it back then, and I am rereading it, if you notice, again. So yeah, I have to go from the book. Blessed are the poor in spirit. No inner baggage, no identifications, not with things, nor with any mental concepts that have a sense of self in them. This book is just awesome. Give it a read. It will change your life. If you're trying to be a minimalist, if you're trying to know the value of your life at the moment. Last but not least, okay, the book title is As You See. I Love Geeks. If you know some geeks, if you have geek friends, if you have a geek boyfriend, if you love geeks, or if you're a geek yourself, it's like a quick, nice read that tells you everything about geekiness, and it's so funny, and it's so relieving, and it's just telling you the history of geeks rising and all that. It's just an awesome book. Definitely it's a night read. Give it a shot. So after finishing the video, I hope you guys enjoyed my top 10 books. I know they're kind of diverse. I'm a weird person. I like all different stuff, all different genres. You don't have to be like that, but I think you could at least relate to one genre of the ones I discussed today. So yeah, I'm sorry for the duration of the video, and I'll talk to you soon. And if you're interested in more sit-down talk kind of videos on the channel, feel free to ask me for them. I'll make them for you. It was very pleasant to shoot such a video. So see you later. Bye.